Hello, my stamping friends. This is Renee Novak at blessedbycards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm here today to share with you a weekly Wednesday. Today, we're going to use the dies from this Textured Notes, and these are some really gorgeous frame dies that have decorative around the rectangles. So I really am enjoying these dies, and that's the Textured Notes bundle, and that is available online. That is an online exclusive. Here's another online exclusive that we're going to use for the stamping, You Are Remarkable. And this is a two-step stamping, so you can get the color on top of your outline. So here's the card we're going to create today. We're going to use the Berry Burst cardstock, a little bit of black, some white to cut out those fun textured rectangles, and Berry Burst, Darling Duckling, and Old Olive Ink. So let's get started. So the supplies you're going to need for today's card, I chose Berry Burst card base and a basic white for the inside. Then you're going to need a scrap of basic white to run through the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine to get that beautiful rectangled layer using those textured notes dies, and then a piece of black, and we're going to border that, and I will have all the supplies and the measurements on my blog at blessedbycards.com. So let's get started with the stamping. I'm going to take my piece of white that I've already ran through the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. I'm going to take the big floral from You Are Remarkable, and again, that is an online exclusive stamp set, and I'm just going to sauce that up in black. This is Memento Black, and I am just going to stamp that straight down on my basic white, and I'm going to give it a pretty good pressure so that I can get all of that outline on my card. Okay, so then the next thing you're going to need is a color, and again I chose the Berry Burst to match my cardstock, so I'm grabbing that ink and I'm taking that solid image of the flower, and this might be a little hard for me now since my head, usually I need to get down and look to line it up, but you just kind of line it up. I'll do the best that I can right now here. And then you just stamp it straight down right on top of your outline. Okay, and then I'm going to take my little center of my flower and some Darling Duckling, and I'm just going to line that up for my center. And then I'm going to take some Old Olive, and that's going to be for my leaves. Okay, so I'm just going to sauce that one up. And again, I'm going to do the best that I can with not getting my head in the camera, but yet still lining it up. And then you just stamp that down, and there it is on your two-step stamping. It's kind of nice because you don't have to color in. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some black, again the Memento Black, and I'm going to take the greeting, friends are flowers in the garden of life, and that is from the You Are Remarkable. So I'm just going to sauce that up, and I think we're just going to stamp that straight down over here. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of line that up and stamp that straight down on that side. Okay, and then I'm going to take my little bee from the stamp set You Are Remarkable, and I'm just going to stamp that right there by my flower. And then I'm going to take some of these little splatters, and I'm just going to come on here and do just a few splatters. Okay, and that is all the stamping, I do believe. And now we're just going to mount that onto our piece of black. And you can mount it with a little bit of berry burst in between there if you want. I did do a second sample that I'll show you at the end where I did use Calypso Coral, and I added another layer before the black. So I'll show that to you at the very end when we're finished with this. Okay, and so there is that. Now, if you wanted to add a little bling, you could. You certainly could. But I'm going to bring in my card base, and we're going to mount that right here. But before we do that on the inside, I think we'll stamp just a little bit of the flower. Let's just go with just the kind of the top of the flower. I can get it in there. I'm going to use a piece of my scrap paper here so I don't get ink everywhere. Okay, and I'm just going to stamp that little flower right on the edge here on the corner of my paper. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Berry Burst and come back in with my flower. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You don't have to decorate the inside, but sometimes it's just lovely. And you can also do this on your envelope if you want your envelope to match. And since I did get a little bit of the leaves going there, let's go ahead and just see if we can line that up and finish that off a little bit so that there's a little bit of leaves. It's not perfect, but you know, that's okay. It's homemade. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to adhere that to the inside of my card. And then I'm choosing the liquid glue. You can use whatever you like best. And I'm just going to stick that on the inside, and you can put whatever greeting you want on the inside, or you can just write it. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my piece that we've already stamped, and that's going to go right on the front. So again, I'm going to grab some liquid glue, just add a little bit to the back, and then layer that on the front of our card. And that is how super simple that comes together. And this is Remarkable You, or you are remarkable, and that is in the online exclusives. So let me bring in the card that I did prior, and I said that I had added a little bit of the same colored card border. So this is the smaller. There are many different rectangles in the textured notes dies, and this is a smaller one, and I just did similar things and put that on the card front. And so this I Miss You Already is from The Right Words. So that is my Make It Wednesday or Weekly Wednesday with creating a card with you. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future videos. And until next time, be blessed.